What's going on, people? Welcome to another edition of OTBN NBA Basketball Daily Show. Back, episode 2. Can't wait to dive into the previous night's games. We had a lot of great games, a lot of, Grizzlies, Warriors. We had Dame dropping 60 Dame Dollar. Back at it again with another great performance. Like I said, episode 2. Appreciate everyone who tuned into episode 1. Like I said, we're going to try to do this daily at the Off the Ball Network. But first, this show is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, your number one place for all your ticket needs. Use the promo code Off the Ball Network to get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. They got everything. Got everything. Want to take your girl out to the opera, to a play, whatever, use the promo code Off the Ball Network. All caps, Off the Ball Network. Get $20 off your first purchase. Helps the network out tremendously. But let's get right into it. We had another stellar night of NBA basketball. And, rivalries, Golden State, Memphis, that's a rivalry that seems like it is brewing. It is something I want to see 7 games of in the Western Conference. So that was really probably the best game of the night. But let's get right into it. First, the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers. Orlando wins 126-120. Paolo Banchero with 23 points, maybe the front runner for Rookie of the Year. He's having a tremendous season. The number 1 pick from Duke had a stellar game. Obviously, the Indiana Pacers are still without Tyrese Halliburton, who is still out. Don't know when he'll be back, but Ben Mathurin off the bench, which I think that has to end soon. We got to put Ben Mathurin in the starting lineup, even though he's essentially playing starting minutes, but he's probably him and Paolo going neck and neck for Rookie of the Year, but Indiana comes up short. Wendell Carter had a double-double with 18 and 10. Gary Harris dropped 22. I watched some of the game, and Gary Harris definitely looked good in that game, and they're going to need him. Solid player. Had himself a game with 22 points. And just, they got so many pieces, man. They got so many pieces. Obviously, Jonathan Isaac coming back his second game. He only played 8 minutes, but gave him 5 points. So it's a team that's really has so much talent. I mean, we talk about even the guys just off the bench, like Jalen Suggs, who they took top 5 last year, and Cole Anthony, who they took the previous year fairly high, and all that. They have a lot of talent, but a good win, and a good win for this Orlando team going forward, and they're still going to be in the 1B and Scoot sweepstakes. So a lot of good things could be happening for Orlando Magic, but a good win over the Indiana Pacers, 126-120. Let's go to another game, another rivalry game. Obviously, no Kevin Durant in this matchup, but it was at times it looked like the Sixers were just going to win by 20 plus points. They were up big at one point. They got up 17 at one point. But the Nets kept poking away, and made this a ball game. But falls short, 137-133. Embiid monster game, 26 points, 10 rebounds. James Harden hit some really big threes for them. Really big threes. Tyrese Maxey had 27 off the bench. Tobias and DeAndre Melton had 18 and 19 respectively. So they did their thing. Kyrie dropped 30. Steph Curry had a mom. Steph Curry also hit some big threes to put them back in the game. He had 32. I missed some trade rumors and all that, but with Steph Curry. But they're gonna need Steph Curry to play like he's been playing of late. He's been playing some solid basketball of late. So Steph Curry had 32 in his performance, but Ben Simmons in his return just didn't do enough. Just did not do enough. Ben Simmons, and they're going to need more from him, especially without Kevin Durant. And I think they're going to reevaluate Kevin Durant in maybe in a week or two. So that we'll see the prognosis for Kevin Durant and that MCL, but it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for them. With just Kyrie and essentially Seth Curry being your primary scorers, and not getting anything from Ben Simmons offensively. It's sometimes it's mind boggling you know how limited he is offensively, especially for a guy who's that talented. Like he's a super talented player, and it's just really. And my guy Aaron, what up, Aaron? Yeah, allergic to shooting, man. It's just I get you're not a shooter. I really get it, but it's really weird when a guy who's such a good ball handler, primary ball handler like Ben Simmons has been, for the Sixers and now with Brooklyn, how you just can't shoot at all. I mean, we see what Giannis does, and obviously Giannis isn't like the ball handler that Simmons is, but we see what he does, and he's not a shooter, and it's just crazy. It really is crazy about Simmons. I don't know how to figure it out. I don't know if he'll ever figure it out, but yeah. Is Embiid too much? I can't imagine he's not going to get teed up in the playoffs. Man, Embiid, he frustrates me, man. Just a lot of the flopping stuff he does, and a lot of the little crybaby stuff he does. Like for a guy who's, you know, arguably should be a two-time MVP, if he doesn't get hurt and stuff. The amount of crying he does, and the amount of times he's just at the three. I think yesterday I saw a possession where I think he's at the 3-point line and Seth Curry's guarding him, and and like I get you're taller than him, you can shoot over him, but not what just back him down. I don't care if it's from the get him in the post, body him up, and get the easy two. Sometimes Embiid frustrates me with his play. As dominant as he could probably be more dominant than what he really is, but he frustrates me with the little stuff. I've even said with Embiid, like he plays a fake tough guy because I don't know how tough he really is. I think he just bullies people sometimes because he's just a big dude, but I don't think he really is that dude. I think he tries and shout out and Nick Claxton stood up for himself. He wasn't going to get bullied, and Nick Claxton's played good basketball this year. Defensive play of the year type of basketball this year. So he ain't gonna step up. He ain't intimidated. I don't think a lot of people are mad or intimidated by Joel Embiid. So it's like, yeah, it looked like he wanted to put his hand on Seth Curry's head and continue to dribble with the other hand. I'm like, sometimes just you're big. You got Seth Curry, who's what 6'1", 6'2", a buck and buck 80 soaking wet, and you 7 foot 285, and you just it frustrates me, with his what he does, and so perimeter oriented now. Like he's on the perimeter a lot. It's like, and I get there's a and some of the actions they use with it, it's not like with how Giannis. If Giannis is on the perimeter, you're going to see him moving towards the basket and getting him on the run. Stuff. It doesn't. They don't do that with Embiid. He kind of just stays there, and like it's like at the end of the day, you're 7 foot, man. Get your big ass in the paint and go be a big, and go be dominant. But sometimes he just hangs out and wants to shoot threes, and I get it. I get it because he can't shoot it well from out there, but sometimes it's like, hey man, you too big to be to be out there. It's kind of like with Karl Anthony Towns too. That frustrates me too. Like, but obviously Karl isn't as physical as Embiid, but I get Embiid. I mean, he shoots 34%, but if he would shoot 38, 39%, I could be like, okay, I understand, but he's shooting 34%, not a you know, he frustrates me, especially when he's a good free throw shooter too. He shoots 86% from the free throw line. Get your big ass in the paint and dominate. It's frustrating with him. I gotta check his free throw numbers. I mean, he gets free throw attempts, but I mean, he probably should be getting more with how dominant he could be. It's just crazy with him. It's just crazy. But yeah, sometimes that little tries to play those little mind games with people, and for the most part, it doesn't work. It doesn't really work with him. So that's but Philadelphia seems like They're playing good ball. We're seeing some resemblance of the old James Harden, with his scoring and all that. But Sixers have played. They played really good ball. They played really good ball. They've won what, 6 in a row, 7 in a row. We get the exact, yeah, 6 in a row. Just playing good ball. Overall 8 out of 9, 8 out of 10. So they're playing good basketball right now, and that's why I picked them to get to the finals. I just, I don't know why it's not what I want, but I thought this team, with them and the Clippers, and it seems like maybe the two teams are finally clicking. They're finally clicking. But Sixers 137, 133 over the Brooklyn Nets. Let's go to the next game. Washington Wizards 108, the Houston Rockets 103. Wizards with the road win in Houston. Kuzma dropping 33 points. Kuzma's been balling, man. Kuzma's had a really good season. Definitely, I think that's why they traded Rui Hachimura, because they're just going to give him, the money and have him be kind of the face of the franchise. Maybe, possibly, it's kind of crazy. We talk about Kuz in that way, but I always felt like Kuz just, he got a raw deal with the Lakers. It's tough playing with Braun, and he was getting clowned for a minute too. Like, that was kind of crazy. He got clown big, but I always saw he had a good game and all that. And he's having himself a career season. Averaging what, 20 and 10 almost. 22 and 7. Good numbers, and gonna get himself a nice payday. Um, but I just want to say one thing about Kuz. Knicks fans, stop trading Julius Randle for Kyle Kuzma. Let's stop doing that, please. Yeah, it's absurd how many times I see that. People hate Julius Randle so much. Julius Randle was the player of the night yesterday, and people were still finding this. This man had what, 36 and 8 and 15 rebounds, I think, something like that. And people just look at the couple possessions he has, and I get it. It's frustrating, but it's like, are we gonna nitpick a guy who just dropped 36 and helped us beat a playoff team? Let us be a good team in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, come on, let's just stop it, and let's stop trading Kyle Kuzma to the Knicks for Julius Randle, because as good as I think Kuz is, if we replace him with Julius Randle, I think Knicks Twitter would be going ablaze right now, even more than they really are. But Kuzma dropping 33 in the win over the Rockets. Danny Advia, another double-double. Had a double-double yesterday, 10 and 10. It seems like Danny is looking like another version of Josh Hart. Like, just get rebounds. Like, big forward that just gets rebounds and all that. I think, how many every rebounds? He's averages 6. Obviously the shooting there is not there. Shooting below 30% from 3. 40, close to 40% from the field, but he's getting rebounds. I think he had a 20. Didn't he have like a 20 rebound game? Yeah, he had a 20 rebound game. Against the Bulls. So maybe we'll see more Danny Advia with now that Rui Hachimura is now a Los Angeles Laker. But Brad had 17. Like I said, double-double with Danny Advia. Even Kendrick Nunn, his first game as a member of Washington, had 12 points off the bench. So good performance. In the Rockets, just a young team, but Alperen Sengun had a triple-double, 21, 11, 10. Kenyon Martin Jr. Had a double-double with, I think, 16 and 13. Jalen Green. But just a young team that's just trying to figure stuff out. A lot of stuff going on, with them in Houston. But the Washington Wizards 108, the Houston Rockets 103. Let's go to the next game. Milwaukee 107, the Denver Nuggets 99. Giannis had 33 and 14. Obviously, there was no Nikola Jokic in this game. With out with hamstring, Jamal Murray was out, so very depleted team. No Caldwell Pope. So very depleted team, but Aaron Gordon had 26 and 14. The bench really did a lot of good work. Bones, had 15. Ish Smith had 10. Jeff Green, the ageless one, had 11. Starters just couldn't help enough. But just obviously, when you're missing 2 key starters, 3 key starters, Michael Porter was out too. So so it's going to be tough to get a win, especially with Giannis playing. So Giannis had 33 and 14. Pat Connaughton at 19 and 12. Drew Holiday 20 points in the win over the Denver Nuggets without, their big three. Atlanta Hawk. Oh, never mind. Messed up my little schedule. The Minnesota Timberwolves defeat the New Orleans Pelicans 111 to 112. Ant-Man Edwards had 30, 37, 36, and 5 in the win. A good road win for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He had a game. All starters had 10 plus point double figures. Rudy had 17 and 12, along with a block. Jaden McDaniels, with 10. Russell had 19. Pelicans obviously missing a lot of guys, but Brandon Ingram did come back, and he had 13 in his return, but only shot 4 of 18 from the field. Struggled from the field in his first game back. But obviously this team looks a lot different. It's going to look different with BI back, and wasn't sure when BI was going to be back yesterday when I talked to you guys, but he's back, and that's a good thing. Yeah, they got the loss, but it's going to take some time to get acclimated back with the team, and but BI's back, and that's good for them. They need some scoring desperately, and he's going to provide that once he gets himself right and all that. So the toe, the toe seems fine, and he's ready to go. So good things, good things going to be happening back in New Orleans. And let's go to Atlanta Hawks 137, the Oklahoma City Thunder 132. This was a fun game, back and forth matchup. You got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander going against Trae Young, two of the best young guards in the league. Shea had 36, 5 and 7, 2 steals, 2 blocks, all-star starter. Some may think, and it's not as crazy as you think. Zach Lowe said that he has him as a starter. I know our guy Edgar, said he has him as a starter at the Off the Ball Network. Could be. He could be an all-star starter. Trae Young had 33 points. Both teams just shot the lights out. Both teams shot over 50% from the field. Hawks shot 60%, 38 from 3. The Thunder shot 44% from 3. It was just an absolute, barn burner. Every starter from the Hawks had, was in double figures. Almost everyone from the Oklahoma City had double figures. Cambridge Williams almost had triple double, 9, 7, and 7. He's a solid player. I'm starting to really like Cambridge Williams a lot. Just a guy like that. That's kind of how I would play basketball. That's if I was an NBA player, it would be like Cambridge Williams, like that type of style of player. But Jalen Williams had a good game. I had to get 24 points. Yeah, 24 points. In the loss, Giddey 16, 8, and 6. Man, I can't wait till Giddey gets the keys. I don't know if he'll ever get the keys to Oklahoma City. I don't know what they'll do with Shea going down the stretch, but if he ever gets the keys, it's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be fun to watch. He's that dude. He's that dude. But yeah, fun game. A lot of points scored in this matchup. Just a barn burner and all that. But Atlanta, man, Atlanta's playing some good ball. Atlanta's playing some good ball. I missed all the craziness going on. They seemed like they had a 2-game losing streak before before I think they won like 5 in a row or something like that. Some close losses to the Hornets and the Bulls, but bounce back big in a win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. They play the Clippers next. That should be a fun one. But let's go to this game. This game was fun. It capped off the night, but I want to talk about it because it's such a good game. Because I won't get into detail in the other games, but Golden State 122, Memphis 120. Man, this was fun. This was a fun game. Steph Curry got ejected, I think, with like a minute and change left for throwing his mouthpiece, which is kind of crazy. Like, I get it. It's probably in the rules, and it's, they get, but it just didn't feel right, throwing him out with that. Like, that was kind of wild that they did that. But got ejected, but Clay had some big threes in this game, and Jordan Poole gets the kind of the game winner on the ATO, great play call and all that, and they get the win. John Morant had 29 and 12 in this game. 2 steals also. He's just so much fun to watch. Desmond Bane had 20 points. Sandy Aldama off the bench at 13. Jaren Jackson at 17 and 12. Brandon Clark, all starters, had double figures. Brandon Clark had 19 and 8. Dylan Brooks had 10 points. The Warriors, almost everyone upset Draymond, but Draymond had himself a really good game with 13 rebounds, 8 points, 7 assists, made all 3 of his buckets. But, Clay was him, late. Jordan Poole played really good. Kuminga was solid as a starting lineup, for Wiggins, who's out. So it's this match, like I said, man, I want 7 games of this. Give me 7 games. Give me 7 games of this. I'll take that, man. That's gonna be fun when we date. This feels like one of those rivalries we need in basketball. It feels like every possession they're pushing, they're shoving. Draymond's talking smack to Morant and pushing Desmond Bane. It's fun. This is what the NBA loves, and I absolutely love this. This was a lot of fun. It's a great game to cap off the night. And before I get into that, Toronto defeated Sacramento, and obviously I spelled Sacramento wrong. Got to forget the E. Bam. Don't want to disrespect Sacramento. Toronto 113, Sacramento 95. It's going to be interesting to see what Toronto does. A lot of trade rumors with OG Anunoby, being proposed, and what's going to happen with him. But Pascal had a game. He balled out. Fred VanVleet had 17. Gary Trent had 16. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, what they do with OG. Anunoby, a lot of rumors going on with OG, where he will go. Lakers defeat the San Antonio Spurs 113-104. Not really much to talk about. Anthony Davis came back, played solid. They need him desperately if they want to make a push in the playoffs. He had 21 and 12 off the bench. Rui Hachimura had 12. He looked solid in his debut with the Lakers. LeBron had almost a triple-double at 29, 9, 11. And, Westbrook had 14. Pat Bev had 18. So a good win. Keldon Johnson had 25 for the Spurs. But Portland defeated Utah 134-124, and Dame Dollar 60 burger he put on Utah. He was absolutely tremendous, and he's also the OTBN Player of the Night. Dame Dollar, 60 points.
It's going to be how the Blazers operate in that part of the floor, the decisions that come from it.
Clarkson will turn the ball over as he does here. Up the floor come the Blazers. Lillard a one dribble adjustment over Walker Kessler. Got Sexton out there with Clarkson. Along with Jared Vanderbilt on the floor. Dame avoids the defender and broke some ankles along the way and lays it up and in.
But Utah will gladly accept it. They got shooters.
They sure do. I just exasperate. Here's Dame outside, and he will exasperate all the opponents all year long.
Some of these advanced metrics do a better job of quantifying steering guys away from the rim or being that defensive linchpin. You see Dame still taking advantage of it because of how
17 to 51 coming in. He's developing now. His 5th year out of Kentucky. Good pro. Dame the other way, a deep one. Got it. Damian Lillard. He's not even sweating.
Dame is the OTBN Player of the Night. 60 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and 9 3-pointers in the win versus the Utah Jazz. And the Player of the Night is brought to you by our partners at NordVPN. They got a deal going on. New year, new deal, 59% off of NordVPN. Go to offtheballnetwork.com, hit the front page, and click the link, and you'll get the disc. And you click the link, it'll send you directly to the website. Use that link, and it helps us out at the network. But if you want to get to know a little bit about NordVPN, here's another video.
NordVPN not only encrypts your traffic and changes your IP address, but also has tons of other top VPN features that give you maximum protection. VPN can sometimes be vital, especially if you operate in countries with low internet freedom index or restricted freedom of speech. In such situations, your online actions can lead to fines or even imprisonment. Meet Double VPN. It brings the benefits of enhanced security, complete privacy, and double encryption, making it twice as hard for attackers to decipher your online data. For your everyday needs, a standard VPN connection is more than enough. Browse privately and enjoy secure internet connection at high speeds. But if you're a journalist or an activist advocating freedom of speech, Double VPN is your go-to solution. Finding Double VPN in the NordVPN app is easy. Go to Settings and set VPN protocol to Open VPN. Find the Double VPN category in the specialty servers. You'll see a bunch of country combinations available. Pick the one that suits you best and connect. That's it. Now your entire internet connection is secured with double encryption. Double VPN's available on NordVPN apps for macOS, iOS, Android, Linux, and Windows. So don't wait and get NordVPN immediately. Our top VPN features will guarantee you a safe and smooth online experience. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.
NordVPN, the official sponsor segment of the OTBN Player of the Night, which had, like I mentioned, goes to Dame Dollar Lillard. Monster game against the Utah Jazz. Tremendous performance. And that's going to end, another OTBN NBA recap show daily. We're going to, like I mentioned, we're going to try to do this as much as possible. I enjoy doing these, recapping the night's previous games and all that. We got, before we sign off, just, we got some good matchups today. We got, like I said, continued some of the rivalry games. We got Knicks heading to Boston. We got Detroit versus the Nets. We got Chicago versus Charlotte, Cleveland versus the Rockets, Mavericks, Suns, Spurs, Clippers. Some solid games on the slate today, so can't wait to get over, recap those games tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be doing it. If not, we'll definitely have someone filling in and to go over those games. But appreciate it, everyone. Make sure you go on over to offtheballnetwork.com. Make sure you're give us a like, a sub on the YouTube. Make sure to like the Facebook page. Make sure to go on and give us a follow on Twitter. Appreciate all that. Appreciate all the love and the viewership we've gotten. So on that note, be well, be safe, take care.